Okay, so oil pump. If they don't flow enough, how to modify them for the neotec. Neotec are a little bit different. They've got a brass bung in here, which the rod actually floats on. It's more of a 440 design, more than it is a 660. I think it's 440. Anyway, first, take the roll pin out of that little hole. Most of the time it should come out the back easier. It's been sort of burred on both ends. Don't know if you can sort of see that, but yeah. Then it's a matter of pulling this out, the adjuster. Normally just a set of pliers should do it. There we go. So, pull that out. Just comes straight out. There's normally an O-ring on them, but this one doesn't have one. And then the actual master rod will be able to come out of there. Easiest way I've found to take them out is to either use a set of pliers, grip on that, don't knurl it, or put that end in a vise. I'll just quickly pull that out. Okay, so I've got that to pop out. Just a little bung. And the rod. I've already sort of half modified this one a bit just to see how it would go with less modifications, but what you want to do is, you can sort of see there, is I've brought that down a little bit, more of an angle down. You'll see where the teeth are, you want to go down until it actually hits teeth. Now this one I haven't done 100% correct because I was in a rush, but you also want to take down that little ledge there. It's very important you take that ledge down because sometimes the governor to it will sit up there. The next thing I was leaving alone was the bottom down here. Normally they're taken back a little bit more to increase volume. So I'll be grinding that back a bit, but then also putting a bit of a hollow in it, which means grinding down in there. So it's actually a bit concave. So I'll do that and I'll post up, I'll put more onto this video. Okay, so we're back. I'll put just a little bit of a concave shape in it. I've taken the ramp down on this a fair bit. I've hit the shaft a bit, which is not optimal, but there's no real weight on it. That only just sits in the bush to locate everything. Now, when you're putting everything together, washer, spring, which I've stretched out a bit, because it's going back and forth, it needs a bit more pressure to push it back. Too much pressure and the pump will just spin because this gear that floats on top of that gear bush. So too much spring pressure, it just won't work. If you take the rate down, the angle too much down, it just won't work. Other than that, you can't really get it wrong. Don't hit these surfaces when you're grinding. You want that to stay as neat as possible. So it's washer, stretched out spring, washer. Now when I put all this together, I always cake it in grease. I like to think it seals a bit better, lubricates everything. Most of the time the grease just sort of goes everywhere, so yeah, but you're not using that much grease. Always put a bit of grease in there. Anywhere that this sits, I put a little bit of grease inside it, put a little grease in this thing, put a little bit of grease in there. Not enough to cake it on, but enough so it's wet. I'm hoping, don't know if the camera can pick that up, but I haven't cleaned this gear out. This is how it came off the saw after about 2-3 tanks. So the grease has sort of walked its way out, but I did clean it out of the pump so you could get a better look. Now, when you put this in, when you put the rod in, you want to put it all the way in, compress it, and then put your actual cammed adjuster in. Because it sits, it'll want to push out, and that won't sit out, and you'll just start breaking everything. So, and then it should pretty much just push itself back into place. You may need to hit it with a bit of force, but that's normal. And yeah, that should be it. Don't forget to put your little plastic piece up there that looks like this, and then push your pin back in. And then if you can, use something to burr the ends open a little bit so it doesn't come out. And that's how you modify a pump.